everybody, and welcome back to another On The Table video, guys. This time, actually on the table. So, what are we going to be looking at today? Well, guys, I decided that I would start a new army. So, with every new army that I start, I always start with a HQ choice. And that is because of a couple of reasons. Number one, if it's something that I don't like actually painting or building, it means that I've only got to build that and paint that one model, and then I've got a cool model for a shelf. And it also gives me a good flavour and a good feel for the army and a good way to decide what colour schemes I want to go for. So guys, if you guys have been keeping up on the Instagram, if you've not, you should do. Go to the link in the doobly-doo down below. I'll take you to the Instagram. Go and follow me on there. You'll get little sneak peeks behind the scenes and stuff like that. You'll know that I am doing Tau now, because Tau has been an army that I've always kind of and ahed about doing, mainly because I never used to like the idea of having to hand paint it with a brush. You know, having obviously an airbrush is a lot more beneficial when you're doing Tau, because there's a lot of smooth surfaces and a lot of surface area that you've got to cover without leaving brush strokes and marks in it. So I decided I would do Tau for the sake of having something different to paint and another challenge. I gotta say, guys, I love challenging myself with new armies and new prospects, but at the same time, I also like finding out really cheaty ways of doing colour schemes and doing things like that. And the colour scheme I'll show you guys with started off as this here. This basically was my idea of doing a camo colour scheme. As you can see, it turned out quite alright. This is basically Elysium green with a wash of my 50 fix can't speak, with a wash of my 50/50 Agrax Null Oil over it. Then I got a sponge on a pair of tweezers with a little elastic band like this, and I dabbed over some Strachan green in random areas, random blotches, like that. Then I went in with a really crappy little stippling brush, like this, and I stippled on some little bits of brown. Then after that I went on and used some what was it now? Not Athonian camo shade, that's the wash. I went on with some Deathworld Forest and then added some more blotches with the stippling brush. And it came out like this, a really cool, really nice looking camo effect, really simple and easy to achieve. Then I was like, well, I'm going to need some other splashes of colour, so I decided to experiment with some lines. So I did some like bright orange and then some like white, grey type stuff. This is going to be completely white on the finished product, which I will show you in just a second. But I really liked the clash of it. I liked the fact that the bright orange really clashed with the muted kind of earthy tones of the camo, and then the white stripe as well. I like the way that kind of popped as well. So I thought, you know what, after doing this is what my colour scheme would be. And it came out looking very nice, if I do say so myself. So this is my commander. His name is Dave. For the better part of, I can't pronounce any of the town names properly. This was an exercise for me in obviously painting something new, but also an exercise in doing something different with the way I based miniatures. We'll move on to the base in just a second. So as you can see, we've gone for the camo, we've gone for a lot of the worky bits and stuff being like this dark grey with a wash of Null Oil, just again to break up some of the monotony of the camo. We've got some nice masked off areas. I've got to say, guys, I love doing masking on miniatures. It's so satisfying when you peel that masking tape off and you reveal this beautifully crisp line over here. And then like, on some of the accent details, like I've done like the orange shoulder pad and the orange like helmet. I wouldn't even call it helmet because it's not a helmet. They're inside. You know, the orange kind of headpiece going on there, and then some brighter bits on the missiles, and then some. You know, I did a nice little job on the lenses on his eyes there. With some bright luminous green, you know, like it looks like it's glowing. We've got some other little lenses, little gradual shadings going on the sensors on his legs, and various other bits and bobs like that. A few minor conversions on this. I found a lot of like, I really like the look that they're so Gundam, and it's so nice to paint something that looks so Gundam, because I love anime and I love manga and stuff like that. So this was really nice and really lovely for me to paint. I kind of added like some extra little wing pieces, like on the shoulder here, and then on the helmet here I added like some little on the head I added some little spikes and a little extra spike there, just to make it look a little bit more spiky, a little bit more Gundam. I've seen an awesome conversion where they take these two engines and they turn them like that, so they look like wings coming down. That looks really good. But moving on to the base, as you can see, there's a Space Marine getting the fuck killed out of him. Basically, I wanted to kind of up my basing with this project as well, and up the way I did that. You'll be interested to know, guys, that there is no pinning involved in this. There's no magnetization, and there is absolutely no weight in the base. He is literally balanced perfectly. Even if you nudge him, he falls back this way. So what I did with the base, I added... I'll show you. So this is, I've got a ghost keel in the works, guys. So this is kind of how the bases start off. They start off very, very sandy. And I know a lot of people like using like the cork and stuff to build up layers on the base. I like using sand and glue just because it kind of gives that really, really tough, and I don't know, I just feel like it forms a little bit more naturally. So yeah, started off like that. We'll go into that base in just a second. But yeah, so this is a Bloodraven Space Marine. I did a poll on the Instagram asking, you know, what should we have as a Space Marine chapter that's getting the fuck killed out of him, and Bloodraven's was like the majority vote, and they were pretty easy to paint. I painted the Bloodraven in this metallic kind of red, just to contrast from the matte colours on the Commander. Now, for those of you that are wondering, the metallic red that I used for this Bloodraven is Vallejo Rojo Signal Red. 71.070, so if you guys want to get that, you can do. But yeah, so really, really cool, really, really fun little miniature to build and paint. I went for the Fusion Blaster and a cyclic ion cannon, I think, ion blaster, just to be a little bit different. I got a rocket pod, and I'm going to give him also a shield as well. However, I couldn't put the shield on, so I'm just going to say that he has it, because why not? But anyway, guys, comments are greatly appreciated on what you think of this. I tried to get like a proper dynamic set of movement going on. Looks like he's like just landed and he's literally taken out that Marine and stomped him into the ground. So I was really, really happy with that. I've also managed to get a... oh, the dog's going off. I also managed to get a bunch of Fire Warriors done, because I bought the Tau Start Collecting box set. So let me just get some of these guys. I'll pop these guys in front of you here. So here we have one of my Fireteam. Is it a Fireteam? I think it's a Tau Fireteam. Really, really easy to paint. I was actually dreading these, to be honest, guys. Mainly because I didn't want to have to paint all the little bits of cloth in between. But I thought to myself, well, why not just give them full camo? You know, full camo on the armor pieces and on the cloth bits as well. With the grey guns and the orange shoulder pads and the white helms, they turned out really, really well, especially once I started getting some of the lenses done. The lenses, by the way, are done with a new paint that I've actually been trying out. It's the GW Technical paint. It's Soulstone Blue, which is very, very cool in regards to how to do lenses, and it's much better than using inks, I've found, because it's like a gel almost. I'll see if I can pop it open for you. Hold on. It's like, let's have a look. It's like a very, very thick gel type stuff. It's almost, I wouldn't really call it a paint. See how gloopy it is? It's not normally that, well, the paint art isn't normally that gloopy for me. But yeah, I've also realised that I've missed, in fact, you know what, guys, you know what we're going to do? You know what we're going to do? We're going to do a live lens painting right here now, because I realised that I've just forgotten this guy here. Hold on one second. So this is live. This is I've never done this before. Focus. There we go. So we're just gonna blob that on like that, and instantly it looks like an awesome little lens, and it self shades. So it's kind of like a wash type. It's like a gloss. It's like a thick gel gloss wash. There we go. Look at that. That's a first for the Wolf Time right there. So I had those built up. This guy is the commander of them. I've got a Fireblade that I'm currently building up as well, but he's like in the very early stages, so there's no point in actually showing you him. But yeah, guys, I was really, really happy with the way these guys turned out, and there was a lot of kind of batch painting involved. Like, I painted the heads and the backpacks and the shoulder pads separately, and then glued them on afterwards, just because I didn't want to have to faff about getting brushes in where, you know, it's just going to be a bit annoying. So there's my tower, guys. They're all going to look like that. And the great thing is, these colour schemes are so easy to do. I reckon I could probably, if I really put my mind to it, I could knock out one of these squads in probably about 3 hours. That's built and painted. You know, it's the power of the airbrush. So yeah, Other stuff I've got on the go. I've got a ghost keel, and this is the base for the ghost keel. Again, you'll notice there is another marine with the fuck killed out of him right on the base. Quite enjoying doing dead marines. I've got quite a lot of spare marine parts, and this was basically I achieved this by gluing a marine together in kind of like what I wanted, but obviously if I just laid him on the base, he wouldn't look very good. He would have loads of arches and, you know, you'd be able to see underneath him. So what I did, I waited for it to dry, and then I got some sandpaper and I basically just sanded the back of him so that the back of him was flat, and then everything else I kind of filled in with sand to make him look like he's kind of like half buried. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to have the ghost keel like stood on top of him, like he's just been defeated. Obviously the rest of the base still needs some work doing. I need to build up some more sand, and I used this stuff as well. This stuff's really nice. I've showed you this before. This is the Vallejo texture, Vallejo black lava earth effect. Oh no, what the fuck? Okay, so it used to be called. Okay, so here's the old pot. It used to be called black lava. Now I've just thrown it on the floor. What a great way to do a video. This is just Vallejo earth texture. Oh no, it's still black lava. It's still black lava, it says down there. And it just adds this really nice bit of extra texture to the bases. So I'm going to probably go in with a bit more of that and maybe a bit more sand. I use two different gradients of sand. I use like a bog standard, like almost like a children's play sand. It's very, very fine. And then I always use a bit more of a coarse one. And I also have some fish tank gravel mixed in there, just to add a bit of, you know, some extra rocks and stuff. And the ghost keel itself, I've not actually built much of it. I've kind of only got the torso done because it's an interesting model of ghost keel. There's, I mean, a lot of the town models in respect to this as well. There's a lot of posability that you have with him, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So, for example, this engine section here is supposed to go under here. I think, is it, or is it supposed to go? It's supposed to go like that. It's supposed to go like this. So I don't know whether or not I'm going to have it like that, or forward. You know, I need to wait till I've got the legs on and I can decide how I'm positioning this. Likewise, these little engine pieces, these little thrusters, these go on here, and this is a ball joint, so these are free floating until you glue them. So they can be glued any particular way. And again, I'm not, excuse me, oh, big old fart. I had a curry last night. That's going to stink the house out. But yeah, so this is basically, there's a lot of, you kind of only have to deal with how you're going to position these once you've got the legs positioned. But yeah, it's a new thing for me. It's really nice to appreciate such an interesting kit. There's a lot of design gone into the Tau kits as well. It's got to be said, especially when you consider that the Ghost Keel it has actually one of these openable chest pieces like this. So let me just zoom in a little bit. So you can see there's a little pilot in there. He's not got a head at the moment. I'm going to paint the head separately. But even like the little cockpits and stuff, and this is just going to be really nice to build up on the inside. Then when I flip it open, it's going to have all these little details in. My only major worry on this is that if you can see, let me just zoom in even closer. This is so fragile, this little joint. I know if I'm not careful with it and if I'm rough with it, it's going to break off. And I'm also, because obviously I've not built it fully yet, I don't know whether or not this is going to just flop open all the time. I hope it doesn't. Hopefully there's going to be something in here which latches down over the top, maybe over that bit, that keeps it shut. I hope there is anyway. But it's going to be a cool model to do, nonetheless. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it, what I've got to show you. I've done quite a lot of stuff. This Tau army, hopefully, fingers crossed, I should have a playable Tau army by the end of my holiday, which I'm on pretty much. So that should be really good. I've also, if you guys haven't seen the Kill Team video as well, I've got some Kill Team stuff on the go. I've also had an idea what I'm going to do in regards to painting this Ghost Keel, because Ghost Keels are supposed to be like stealthed. So I'm going to use a mixture of the new Nighthorn Gloom and the Nicolac Oxide. I'm going to use a mixture of that in order to create like a stealth generator field. So half of it's going to be like that, and then the other half I'm going to actually try and paint it up in my camo and orange colour scheme. We'll see how that goes. It might be a complete waste of time, but it'll be cool and it'll be a fun learning experience nonetheless. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for this video on the table. So I thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, favourite, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out all the links in the doobly-doo down below. You'll get taken to my Facebook and the Instagram. And I'll see you guys again in the next video. So thank you very much for watching. See you now, and goodbye.